Gemara Pesachim Daf Chav Daled, it continues the theme that we've been discussing, that how do we know that all these surim in the Torah, primarily chametz and Pesach, as well as Shara and Iskal, is not only forbidden to eat, but also forbidden to get benefit. The Gemara today is going to try to find a new makar. We're going to have 4 different attempts. We're going to try to say the psol nechlas of a karmachat shecht in the wrong place, nicer, as well as a combination of those two, and we're finally going to conclude with the makar from Rav Papa, which is going to be on kachim tameim. As we're going to flip over to Chav Daled and Beis, then we're going to discuss a new concept, that how do you know you get malchus when you are over the isurim and you use something that is aser. The Gemara is going to discuss what type of usage. Is it only regular eating, regular hana? What is that usage? And we're finally going to conclude when one will get malchus for utilizing arla. So we pick it up on the bottom of Chav Gimel and Beis. There's a story that someone came in front of Rav Shmuel Nachmani and he asked him, how do we know all isurim in the Torah that you're going to get malchus on them? So all isurim in the Torah, they're also aser and hana. So we responded, what about lo yiachal, like chizkiah? I don't hold that means hana. What about Rav Avua, like Rav Yehuda, Nevela? No, I learned that the pasuk is pashet like Rav Yehuda, and I hold that chulin shedishchu ba'azara as a daraisa. So I don't have any of the previous makaris that we've been discussing the last 3 blat. So says the Gemara, okay, we're going to find a new makar. Attempt number 1 says the Gemara, it says that by a chatas that was shechted inside as opposed to outside the Beis Hamikdash, be'ishti sareif, you have to burn it. Now that pasuk is extra because it already said lo yiachel. So why do I have to say be'ishti sareif? Must come to teach me that all other isurim you are not allowed to get benefit from it. Says Gemara, but that's not true. We need the pasuk for Rav Shimon. The Rav Shimon told us that all psul kachim, you have to burn it. So the pasuk is not extra. Says Gemara, okay, attempt number 2, we're going to learn it out from nicer. That we see by nicer, the Torah as well says you're not allowed to eat it. Why do we need to know that? We already knew you have to burn it. So why do you have to say that you're not allowed to eat it? Must be to teach me all other isurim in the Torah are forbidden from benefit. Says Gemara, that can't be as well, because Rav Eliezer teaches me, no, he says lo yachel. Lo yachel teaches me that you over a lav, which we were not necessarily have known. Says Abayi, no, let's go back. Really, it's the first pasuk, by the chatos that was shechted inside. But not from the fact that Torah says be'ishti sareif, but rather from the fact that it says lo seichel. The actual lo seichel teaches me all other Yisurim Shabbatera. Says no, it's not true, because even though we knew from Eliezer a moment ago that you over a lav, but you wouldn't know necessarily that you're going to get malchus if you consume and you get benefit from these psol kachim. Why? Because there's a rule of being loiken on lav shabachlales. On a very general lav, like Rabbi Eliezer said, you're not going to get malchus. So how do you know you're going to get malchus if one would eat this chatas or get benefit from this chatas that was in the wrong place? So that must be from loiseichal, you're not allowed to eat it. So says the Gemara, the 4th and final attempt of Rav Papa, says the Gemara, that when it comes to all karbanis that are going to be tameh, the Torah says lo yoichal, and you have to burn it. The actual wording is going to come to teach me that all other Yisurim in the Torah, because we already knew that this is you can eat, all other Yisurim in the Torah, you're not allowed to get benefit from it. As we move along to Chav Daled and Beis, we begin a new discussion. Says the Gemara, Kol Yisurim Shabbatera, you only get malchus if you get the normal way of benefit, which Trump to exclude if you eat the meat of the chelev, the fat, if you eat it raw. Number 2, the second lashon says only if you get benefit in the normal way of getting benefit, not an abnormal way, like smearing it on your skin of the Shara and Iskal, using that as a shmir for a remedy. That's not a normal usage. And finally, we conclude that when one uses arla, you're not going to get malchus only if you use the olive oil or the wine, because that's the normal usage of those liquids. But the tutim and the remaining, the dates and the pomegranates and the other berries, those you will not get malchus if you use those liquids. Why? Because it's just zeya ba'alma, just a regular juices, and not the normal usage of the fruit. And that was Gemara and Pesachim Daf Chav Daled.